Hasan Al Basri, also known as Hasan of Basra, was a renowned early Muslim scholar and ascetic who lived in the 7th century. Hasan al Basri says, "Knowledge enlivens the soul. Whoever does not find contentment in himself will seek it in vain elsewhere." Humility is to consider oneself as nothing in the presence of God. Sincerity is to worship Allah as if you see Him, for even though you do not see Him, He, verily, sees you. Patience comes through gratitude. Gratitude comes through patience. Your remedy is within you, but you do not sense it. Your sickness is from you, but you do not perceive it. Repentance is a tree with roots in the heart and fruits in actions. The world is 3 days. As for yesterday, it has vanished, along with all that was in it. As for tomorrow, you may never see it. As for today, it is yours, so work in it. Seeking knowledge at a young age is like engraving on a stone. The righteous Salaf were as fearful of the good deeds being squandered, or not being accepted, as the present generation is certain that their neglect would be forgiven. Do not sit idle, for indeed death is seeking you. The dunya distracts and preoccupies the heart and body, but al-zert asceticism, not giving importance to worldly things, gives rest to the heart and body. Verily, Allah will ask us about the halal things we enjoyed, so what about the haram? Whoever does not hold his tongue cannot understand his deen. When a man sought knowledge, it would not be long before it could be seen in his humbleness, his sight, upon his tongue and his hands, in his prayer, in his speech and in his disinterest in worldly allurements. And a man would acquire a portion of knowledge and put it into practice, and it would be better for him than the world and all it contains. If he owned it, he would give it in exchange for the hereafter. I am astonished about those people who are ordered to prepare their provisions, then the start of the journey is announced, however they remain unmindful in the vain discussions and fruitless deeds. A person who acts without knowledge corrupts more than he rectifies. He who has no manners has no knowledge. He who has no patience has no deen, and he who has no piety has no nearness to Allah for him. If you would be pleased to be safe and for your religion to be safe for you, then restrain your hands from harming the lives of people, restrain your tongues from harming their honor, and restrain your stomachs from consuming their wealth. The intelligent person's tongue is behind his heart. When he wants to speak, he first thinks. If his words will be in his favor, he says them, and if they will be against him, he does not speak. And the ignorant person's heart is behind his tongue. When he merely thinks of saying something, he says it, whether it is for or against him. A believer will always be critical of himself in his food, his drink and his speech. A sinner will not criticize himself. Intention is more superior than action. Seek knowledge in a way that does not harm you acting on your worship, and worship in a way that does not harm you gaining your knowledge. Whoever acts without knowledge harms more than he benefits. Treat your illnesses by giving charity. A grain of genuine piety is better than 1,000-fold weight of illegitimate fasting and prayer. Immerse yourself in this light and illuminate your world through your fellowship with light.